Your Northland Sports Report starts now with Norman Seawright.
Hockey Day, Minnesota. It's basically a holiday and a little warm for it, but the greatest present for the Northland was a rematch of last season's state championship game. Duluth East took another crack at Lakeville North, so we'll pick it up in the first period. The Greyhounds starting hot. First period, Luke Lemaster crosses to Ryan Peterson. He scores the first goal of the game. The momentum does shift not long after. The Cougars, they strip the puck away behind the East goal. Ryan Paling scores a shorty, and that ties the game. In the second period, Paling gets an assist. He goes to Matt Johnson in the Lakeville North power play. He rifles it in to take the lead. Then the Cougars just keep on firing. Later, it's Henry Annebeck, parked out in the slot right in front of the East goal, and he puts them up 3-1 over Duluth East. Later, the Greyhounds return the favor when it comes to robbery. That is Luke Dow in the Cougars zone. He robs the puck right there, returns it to Peterson, and he scores the team's final goal. The Greyhounds, though, lost this one 3-2, but the team is still in awe of being able to represent their city in Bayfront Park.
It was unbelievable. I mean, it was everything we thought it was going to be. I mean, conditions were a little warm, but nothing we can do about that. We tried to play through it, but I mean, they're a better team tonight, and they showed it.
There's a lot of people who gave these kids a chance to play in front of the state of Minnesota. And they'll never forget this. They might think they'll forget this. They'll never forget this.
Now check this out, the state of hockey flag. Yeah, it's the same one flown at Minnesota Wild games. Kaylee Clay, the Minnesota North Stars goalie, flew it before the Greyhounds faced the Cougars. This flag will travel to 10 locations around the state before landing at TCF Bank Stadium. That will be for the Wild's outdoor game with the Chicago Blackhawks as part of the NHL Stadium Series. Now, earlier in the day, Duluth-Denfeld faced off with Gilbert, and it wasn't so sunny, so the ice wasn't so bad. First period, Cody Hendrickson, he breaks away from the Hunters here, and he gets Evelyn Gilbert's first goal of the morning. In fact, the first goal of the morning. He gets that one past River Allender. Second period, Jake Harold for the Hunters. Puck about to leave the zone. He picks it up and puts it where it goes. The Hunters tie. Later, Caden Ferguson takes a shot at the goal. It's turned away. Logan Parzic whacks at it over and over until finally Denfeld takes the lead. Third period, Adam Scheitz, 2-on-1. Puck gets loose. Dylan Skorich is the one to bury it. The Hunters go on to win 5-2. Both teams love this atmosphere, regardless of the result.
Oh, it's tremendous. Even, you know what, even getting the Heritage before we even left our own locker room, you know, we had a little chat with the boys, and you know, what a great experience, and enjoy it, have fun. I wanted them to be relaxed and have fun and just play.
They battled hard. They had nothing to be ashamed of. Big crowd, good atmosphere, a lot of distractions for them to worry about, but they battled hard. You know, we sat back in the second, and Denfeld kind of got the momentum, and I think that hurt us a little bit, but they have nothing to be ashamed of. The boys battled hard.
Now, you know in hockey, there's a horn blown every time the home team scores. Well, in Bayfront Park, there is a lift bridge with a horn, and you might as well use it. Listen to this. They use that every time a Duluth team scored today. The bridge operators prefer to stay in the background, but for Hockey Day, pulling out all the stops seems like the right thing to do.
Everybody in Minnesota, of course, loves Hockey Day, but we'll see at the end of the day how many people are thrilled with the bridge blowing the horn all day long, but we'll find out. I think it's something that's pretty cool.
You know what else is pretty cool? A familiar face returning to resurface the ice between periods today. That is Walt Bruley, the Zamboni man. He resurfaced ice sheets of the deck for 37 years before retiring, and he entertained fans while doing so. He brought his trusty machine to Bayfront Park today before it all broke down due to the sun. And he says in all his years, Hockey Day Minnesota is the crown jewel of all the events he's worked with.
My 37 years was practice to get to this day. And that's how I feel about this. This is just fantastic. I mean, and to be a small part of it, I'm just a small part of this, but it is just fantastic.
After the high school games, sled hockey took over the Bayfront rink, showing players of all ages. They're showing off their stuff. They're the Minnesota Wild sled hockey team. And over on the pleasure rink, kids played their own series of Hockey Day games. The Mikes, look at them go. Everyone can celebrate Hockey Day in Minnesota, regardless of who you are. In college, here's Casimir Kaskasuo and the Bulldogs celebrating a win over Colorado College. Okay, I gave away the end result, but This is how we got here. We're going to change the replay pace tonight for you. First period, Dan Molinar scoring the first goal of the game. And we're changing the pace because so much I've thrown at you today. So they're up 1-0. Then Trey Bradley for Colorado College chips one over Kansas' shoulder. That ties the game. Third period, Andy Walensky rips one into the net to tie the game again. That's because the Bulldogs were down at this point by 1. Time winding down. Under a minute later, Alex Iafallo from Molinar and Tony Cameronese. That is the game winner. The Bulldogs get the sweep tonight. 3-2 was the final score over Colorado College. The Bulldogs had a great weekend. The women also got a sweep over MSU Mankato. And that is how the 10th year of Hockey Day Minnesota wraps up in Duluth, Katie.
I love Walt. I mean, he plays a big part, I think.
Yes, he does. Got to keep that ice nice and smooth.
Yeah. Well, you're watching KVJR 6 and Range 11 News at 10.